we're ready to questions for Coach.
Fran, I saw a lot of reaction on social media, different colleagues of yours saying, congratulating you. What did all the texts and messages you've received mean?
Yeah, it's been great, Tom. I really appreciate it. You know, I've been in the business a long time, made a lot of friends, and have a lot of respect for various people, and whether it be players that I coached or coaches that I worked with or coached against, you know, so, you know, if they recognize you, you certainly appreciate it.
Beth was obviously named as the permanent AD. Just what are your thoughts on that?
It's great. You know, I'm happy that, you know, she can do her job now the way she wants to. I think one of the things that impressed me about her was, you know, from the beginning, I think she was really doing the job and not worried about trying to get the job. And a lot of respect for how she's approached everything. My meetings with her have been outstanding. She's got great vision. She's got a great personality, and she's eager to, you know, move our program forward along with everybody else. So looking forward to working with her.
Anything from this last time you played Purdue that you'll take into this game?
Well, I hope so. We didn't play very well. We didn't rebound well. You know, our defense was not what it needs to be, and they're a hard team to defend. We all recognize that, but you know, our defense was not connected at all in that game. So we have to be better.
The injury that Josh went through his senior year of high school, how did you just see him deal with that and help him kind of try to get
He just kind of ignored it. I'm fine. I mean, he never said one thing about it. And I've said this before, I thought we were really going to have to redshirt him. But he was ready to go, and it's really good for us. We won some games last year because of him. So, yeah, I think you're seeing, you know, obviously somebody's a little bit different after having time to get his strength back. Because he was always a really good athlete.
Was there like legitimate discussions of are we going to redshirt or?
It never really got to that because, you know, he was cleared to play, and he said, I'm ready to go. We felt like we needed him, and we did.
Expect Patrick to play on Saturday?
50-50. Yeah.
How would you describe Josh's personality on the court and off it?
It's about the same. He's pretty quiet, but really locked in, like really focused. He's a serious guy, and you know he's an intense competitor. But he's also really cerebral, Mike. I mean, he really knows and understands the game, and he knows and understands what the game plan is, and he's a great team guy in the sense that, you know, it's never about him, but then he ends up impacting the game in a big way.
When he's in with Tony, do you really have a point guard or a shooting guard, or do you just have two guards?
Pretty much just have two guards. And I think that's the beauty of it, because they both enjoy having it, and they both can play without it, and they're both effective. You know, sometimes guys, you know, they're fine with it, but they're not as effective. They both are.
Something that I've noticed these last few games is that the lineup is kind of tightened up. You're not going as deep into the bench. Is that something that
I prefer not to, but sometimes the way the game goes will dictate that. I think probably more so in the Nebraska game maybe than the Minnesota game.
With Josh, how much is it a challenge of just trying to get him to be more aggressive? Is that something like you?
Well, I think you can see that happening. I mean, he's had the green light as far as I'm concerned since he got here. He's always been a guy who could go get a bucket, go make a play. As I've said many times, he's a really good defender, and he'll be a good rebounder as well at his size. He can guard bigger guys, smaller guys. Just, you know, very, very effective, very valuable player in our program.
Tony's impacting you guys in so many ways on both ends. How important is that right now for playing like a senior, but the assists, the steals?
Yeah, you know, and he seemingly can make big plays at important times in the game, which you need your veteran guys to do. He recognizes that. I've just really been impressed with his his overall performance, but in particular his ability to lead in that regard and impact the game in a variety of ways. I think he's always been good at that.
What makes Purdue's offense as a whole so efficient?
Say that again?
Purdue's offense efficiency,
Oh.
I think, is
Yeah. They have veteran guys. They have the National Player of the Year. They have multiple three-point shooters. They have depth and competitive guys at every spot. You really have to defend on every possession to stop them. Yeah, Matt runs really good stuff, always has. He gets the ball to people that he wants to have opportunity to score, and they do a good job. You're a very unselfish group.
What are the challenges that you face as a program that an administrator can help mitigate, change, enhance, help you move forward?
Well, I think a lot of ways. I mean, I worked for a great one, in Gary Bart. I've been really lucky. I've said that before. The ADs that I've worked for, and I will say this, you can't have any success in this business unless you have that kind of relationship with your athletic director. It has to be a partnership, and we also have to understand that that person is also in charge of every other sport that's here. So we can't have tunnel vision, like I want what I want and that's it. No, we identify the things that we need to do moving forward, whether it be with facilities or now with NIL, with pretty much anything that impacts our program. So there's a constant communication going on between us. We meet regularly to talk about our collective vision for the program moving forward. Obviously, sometimes that requires funds. How do we do that? I'm prepared to help. She's ready to step up and help in that area. I think for her, you look at her resume and her background, like she knows and understands how to get it done. And, I think we'll work together, make that happen.
Saw the video in Minnesota of you coming in the locker room after the game and guys giving you a little shower. Just what all was that like for you?
It was great. I get to do that very much, and we talk about this all the time. There's a business side to this, everything that we do. But they accomplished something really special. They won 3 in a row. They got down 10-1, came back, and really stuck together. We had great contribution from a lot of different people. So it's a great feeling in the locker room. But they felt really good for me, and they wanted to have fun, and you want them to have fun. The journey is, like I said, it can be businesslike, but we have to enjoy the ride, and that was a lot of fun for all of us.
That spin move that Brock had in the middle of the lane, I think it was in the second half, and then he ended with that floater. I think he sent the Minnesota defender kind of sliding away. Is that something that is, unique, having that type of body control, especially, at his size, being able to finish?
Yeah, that's what makes him special. He has great feel for that. That was a big play in the game. It was a moment. It was a point in the game where a nice momentum shift, big hoop like that. The bench was really involved, really excited, and just when you get a guy that performs that way off the bench, it's so impactful.
Beth has conducted, and I guess the department has conducted a feasibility study on Carver, what may happen next phase. She's expressed her interest in bringing the students close to the floor. What's kind of your assessment on what maybe needs to happen with the bowl structure, which has been here for 40 years now?
Yeah, I think some changes have to be made. I think she's thinking that through and looking at options. Again, that's going to require a great deal of fundraising, and a lot of people have to. You think about what's going on right now. We're finishing up some other projects, so I feel confident that we'll get that done and moving forward. Exactly what it's going to look like, I'm not sure yet, But she's on top of that.
When you're
Last question.
in a away arena and the student section's right on you, like some places of the zone, how much is that a distraction for you guys? Is it something you guys have to deal with? Or is
It's-
it too much media?
It's one of the reasons why we do the meetings on the court. So once we move there, it's not a factor. If you try to do it and they're right behind, it would be more difficult to communicate what you want to do. But we move out on the court, teams there, you can't even see them. They might say stuff during the game, but they really can't affect the guys that are on the floor. They try to mess with the guys that are on the bench. Sometimes a little bit of jawing there, but that's all part of it.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Fran.
That's right.